All right, folks, let's talk about this one right here. This one it's out now. It's been a while since I've checked it out, but it still needs a review. So let's jump into my review of the new film Unwelcome. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the new film Unwelcome, which is available right now to stream on Shudder. So this film, checked it out a while ago, and I don't know what took me so long to get the review done, but I totally want to talk about it. And because, you know, I like the film. There's definitely parts of this film that I enjoyed more so than others, but overall I enjoyed this film, and I think this film definitely is a film worth checking out on Shudder. It did have a small theatrical run. Obviously it was available on demand and digital, but perfectly placed on Shudder with their vast catalog of so many different types of films, and this is just one that's truly unorthodox. It's kind of all over the place. The pacing, the tone, all sorts of different things that this film truly is just really, just for lack of better words, it's unorthodox. It's truly all over the place. But I will say that, you know, starting off with our leads here in Hannah, John-Kamen, and Douglas Booth, the two of them truly were part of the intrigue for me here. And there's some other names and faces attached to this film that you will recognize, but our leads here, as they play Jamie and Maya, who is a married couple living in London, and well, they're expecting, and what a exciting time for this young couple. But one night Jamie gets into an altercation at a bar, really bad altercation in which he was brutally attacked. And while Maya was okay, they felt it was in best practices and protection to move, which then they relocate to Ireland, where they inherited Jamie's great aunt's house. Now, two things here. One, they leave because they don't want to have to keep looking over their shoulders because of what happened in London. It was so bad, they had the fear that this threat at any given point would return. So Ireland was definitely a means of them, you know, kind of going off the grid, kind of resetting, and truly being able to be in an environment where they're able to raise their unborn child in a way that's just it's just better for them, you know. But as I have in my notes here, Jamie is a man who can start a fight, who can't finish it. The initial altercation in the beginning of the film, which really set the tone of this film of okay, this film is going to be kind of wild. But upon getting to Ireland, things kind of really settled and then kind of went into another direction here. And amongst the previous threat, they also are in a new environment, so that's also, you know, a level of getting accustomed to. The town folks, who are, well, there's something as well too. There's bars, there's Ireland, of course, which essentially puts Jamie back in the same situation. We just have to see if Jamie is able to learn from the previous one in order to make better decisions for not only Maya and himself, but for his unborn child. Now let's just talk about the town folks here in Ireland. Listen, I'm not being stereotypical here, but I got to tell you that what I really did enjoy, which was kind of comedic in a way that I wasn't expecting, was the town folks and just how they trash talk. It was channeling Conor McGregor, who we do know is from Dublin. But I did love this aspect of the dialogue here because, yeah, Jamie was getting it and these folks were letting him have it. And I did truly enjoy this in a comedic tone. But again, the threat is once again present, and you're starting to like really, you know, you worry about how bad this could get in terms of Jamie's decision making for Maya and unborn child, as we again don't want anything to happen to either of them, but truly don't want anything to happen to a pregnant Maya right now. So along with that, there is some, some modernizations within the house. So we do get introduced to more family folks that's coming in and helping really get the house and really make it become a home here. And we meet a character played by Christian Nairn, who you may know, Game of Thrones here. And I gotta tell you, what's really interesting about this character is he gives you sort of just these vibes in terms of, first of all, Hodor on Game of Thrones. So like, this guy can act. And this character he plays, he appears to be very odd until he's not odd. So I got to tell you, the best way to think about this character is a big question mark of I have no clue what this character may be capable of or what he may be up to. But he definitely is up of the most suspicion the entire time, which is kind of odd because like some of the things and decisions and especially dialogue that this character presents throughout the film makes you wonder why it's this character, not another character that they decided to go with this arc with. So like, along with the town folks, the overall threat of Jamie and Maya having to move, and now these other folks kind of entering their life, there's a lot of building of arcs throughout this entire time. And then I haven't even got to the folklore part of this, where their house is right on the edge of the forest, where there is a little hole in the wall, and they are told that you have to place a piece of bloody meat within this hole as a sacrifice to the Redcaps. So like, you have that there. All these sorts of different things are happening, but none of this is fleshed out. You have no clue what the Redcaps are. If you don't, I do from previous folk tales and folklore stories. So I have an idea of this, but for the film itself, you have no clue what this is about and like what this potential threat may mean to them, and even for Maya and Jamie, why it's not even truly explained to them. They don't understand the threat, so they don't really know the severity of like the consequences of what this may be. So whatever, that's part of the story, you'll see. But still, these little mini monster demon little folks, these Redcaps folks, they're revealed at some point of the film. They're creepy. And I do love stuff like this, like Gremlins from back in the day. So like, I love how this like channels some of like the old school horror stuff that I enjoyed. But like, they shift the tone so much because they kind of are comedic in a sense. The CGI with them kind of throws things off just a little bit here. But then they're overly brutal. They're sharp object happy, trigger happy. Like they like to play with sharp objects. Let's say that. But yeah, with their introduction, which I felt like was a little premature in the film. I think like the mystique and the intrigue of like what they are and how they would look is something that could have really held out within the film. But once they did, it kind of like really deflated that moment and opportunity. But well, yeah, for sure, they were absolutely, upon their introduction, things got messy and brutal, and it was just blood on top of blood here. You know what I mean? And like, at the end of the day, it's just truly about two parents trying to have their baby born safely and healthy. And the baby also becomes a moment of interest for these little trolls out here that loves to play with sharp objects. So, but some of the things that this film did really well was with the cinematography. I thought the low light shots were fantastic. I loved the locations of where this was shot at. And then when they needed to use vibrant colors to really make things pop, I thought they did a really good job with that as well. Now, the only issue I did sort of have in terms of like the production was like the practical stuff was great, but the stuff that was clearly like CGI or not on location or who knows, there was moments that just made things felt kind of shifty in terms of like, is this actually really happening or not? Like, there was moments you thought like, this definitely seems like a dream state, or like, I don't know, a moment of bliss, like where you just think like what the perfect world looks like. I don't know. There was just moments that it was just very unclear to me in terms of what they were trying to present here. And then lastly, the film was much longer than it needed to be. And with that, the direction was kind of just drifting all over the place. I thought like there was moments where the film had a certain tone and then it just went in another direction, and then certain arcs were never ever fully fleshed out. It's just a lot of different little things kind of happening here, and I was just kind of like, what? And then the ending of the film was just a big bowl of WTF. I just was kind of jaw dropped in the decision that they made towards the end of the film here. But I thought it was only fitting because with the tone and the direction and everything being all over the place, I said, well, hell, why not just go full blown icing of the cake with this? And certainly they did, you know. But you know, with that being said, I did enjoy the acting from Hannah and Douglas, amongst some other supporting characters as well too. There definitely was moments where things could have been truly more fleshed out. But I think that for what it's worth, this sort of just fairy tale aspect of the film truly did work in the moments that it needed to, and then sometimes it didn't, and it was okay because I think it still did keep me interested enough. Glad it was on streaming, by the way, but enough to really get me through the film. But you know, but also just the intrigue in terms of what was going to happen next, especially with the unpredictability of things going left and right in any direction in any given time, you know. But with that being said, yeah, this is a film, especially the ending, that is certainly worth talking about. I'm not going to spoil it here, but these red cap little things are something, you know. And if you know anything about Irish folk tales or folklores, then like you may have seen them in previous films or a bit of media, and I think that this iteration of them was interesting, creepy. Could have probably been handled better in terms of when they were truly introduced in the film, but for what it's worth, I thought they did really take the film into a direction in which I didn't see coming. That's okay. That's truly okay. Check out Unwelcome, folks, in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about it. And as always, stay tuned, folks. Check it out for more reviews very soon. Thank you for watching.